All right, we continue. This is not what Cowboy fans wanted to hear. Dak Prescott left yesterday's practice early with soreness in his right arm. That's his throwing arm. The team spokesperson said that Dak felt the soreness early in practice and, quote, did not want to push it. Here's Dak.
Just a little shoulder pain, a little shoulder soreness, I should say, and tightness. Felt it a little bit yesterday. Came out today, was going to work through it. And just felt I should be smart. I've got a long time to go, get a day of rest or so, and just get back at it. Didn't obviously want to push through something that could potentially make it worse, so everything's fine.
All right, he says everything's fine, and obviously we all hope that is the case. I turn to my reporter extraordinaire here, Dan Graziano. What do we hear out of Dallas?
They don't sound concerned, but if everything was fine, he'd be practicing, right? So there is something there. He's got an issue with his lat muscle, so, I mean, he's going to sit out, I would say, probably a couple of days. The key point is, he says he has plenty of time, and he does, right? I mean, the Cowboys started camp early because they have the Hall of Fame game next Thursday, so they have already gotten some work in as other teams are just getting started. So if he does have to miss a couple days, a week, whatever, he can probably get back on track in time for the season. But people I talked to there last night were not concerned. They echoed sort of what he was saying in his news conference, that it's precautionary and that they're not worried about it being a long-term issue. So we'll see.
The expectation is that he wouldn't have played in the Hall of Fame game regardless, whether he was fine, whether he had the shoulder issue or not. So, Chris Canty, as a player, you see that happen. Is it a big deal?
No, it's a concern. I mean, the hopes and dreams of what the Dallas Cowboys hope to accomplish in 2021 rest on his shoulders, literally. And so when you have an injury to his throwing arm, it's something that makes you raise an eyebrow. I mean, Dak Prescott was supposed to be the piece that when you insert him back onto this roster, you're talking about the Cowboys being a playoff contender, a team that could win the NFC East. So, yeah, I have to be concerned about it. Missing opportunities to get him back into football shape, to get him acclimated to making football movements and football situations. I just feel like that's the true value in preseason practices for Dak Prescott. Coming back from that surgically repaired ankle, you want him to try to build some confidence in that so he can get past that final hurdle in that rehab process. Missing any opportunities to do that in training camp, I feel like that's something that takes away from this. But listen, I'm not saying it's time to panic, but there should be some concern about where Dak Prescott is right now.
Rob Ninkovich, what do you think?
Canty, you know this. Go get some Tiger Balm, a little BioFreeze, rub that thing on there, get that shoulder good, little ice pack. Go out to the practice field, grab some of that Texas dirt, rub some dirt on it. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. Look, it's a little soreness. Come on, a little soreness here or there. He's going to have soreness. He hasn't played in a year. He's going to be all right.
All right, so you know what that is? That's how a linebacker approaches an injury to a quarterback. That's exactly what you just heard.
And Nico's on fire, right? Like, if you're hurt, rub some dirt on it. The front office guys are nerds. Players should run the whole league. I mean, I think Rob's out of the box hot today.
But the reality of it is, try and find anything wrong in anything that he just said.
Well, they're in California, not Texas.
That's the other.
That's true.
It's the one, if we're doing.
Oh, sorry. They got to send somebody back for some Texas dirt. All right.
That's well said. All right, Rob. Again, we will keep a close eye and ear on the Cowboys training camp. The expectation is not that this is significant, but you never know. Meanwhile, this certainly is. Baseball's trade deadline is tomorrow afternoon, but the Yankees have already stolen the show yesterday as they acquire Rangers outfielder Joey Gallo in exchange for 4 minor leaguers. Let me give you some numbers. At the plate this year, Gallo has 25 home runs, is a much better OPS than the collective Yankee outfield. Defensively, he has saved 14 runs, which is the most of any player, and 20 more than the Yankees outfield, which is below 0. And this is Robert Stanberry only the third. All right, Buster, so the Yankees make the first blockbuster move here. They get their man in Joey Gallo. Give us specifically what he does that they so desperately needed.
Yeah, Greeny, he checks so many boxes on paper for the Yankees. First and foremost, a left-handed hitter for that very right-handed lineup. He's going to help with the balance there. He's someone, obviously, with big power. That's going to fit Yankee Stadium, which is so friendly for left-handed hitters. High on-base percentage. And he is a phenomenal athlete, despite the fact he's 6'5" and 230. He moves well. He gives him versatility in terms of where he could play, perhaps left field, perhaps first base, maybe even center field if that's the direction they want to go. Two concerns for me. One, he's a big swing and miss guy. And two, like a lot of big stars going into New York for the first time, you do wonder how he's going to handle when inevitably he gets booed in Yankee Stadium.
All right, well, we will see the second part. The big swing and miss guy means he'll fit very well into that lineup one way or the other. All right, I kid. So now they've done a very good job of building the drama for us here. We are basically a day and a half away from the trade deadline. Give me three teams as we run the bases that desperately need to make a move before tomorrow afternoon.
Number one, the New York Mets. The fans' expectations have been extremely high since Steve Cohen took over as owner there. This is his first trade deadline, and the fan base is looking for a big name to land with the Mets by 4 p.m. on Friday. Chris Bryant is someone to watch for. They've had conversations with the Cubs about him. The Los Angeles Dodgers need pitching help, Greeny. And we've seen them 2 games behind the San Francisco Giants. Now, is that going to be Max Scherzer, who would have to approve a trade to the Los Angeles Dodgers? Or could it possibly be Craig Kimbrell? I had a general manager the other day tell me he thinks the Dodgers will swoop in at the last moment and grab Kimbrell and maybe Scherzer because they're great at those last-minute deals. And the Boston Red Sox, who have a clear need at first base, and Anthony Rizzo fits perfectly. They need a left-handed hitter for their lineup. He's an excellent defensive player, and of course, he's got all of that experience playing in October. It would be Anthony Rizzo going back to an organization that drafted him, and they're also out in the market, Greeny, looking for bullpen help.
Yeah, and you see the selling of the Cubs. 3 of the 4 names you see on their screen there would be coming from Chicago. Buster, going to be a very busy day and a half.